Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, you guys. I am so pumped about all of the subscribers I have. Like, Jersey Shore fist bump pump. And I sincerely hope that you guys even get that reference. I don't even know if you're old enough. Oh gosh. Anywho, let's get our party started. Thank you so much for joining me on this crazy study journey. First up is ethics. Beneficence. Demonstrate a concern for safety and well-being of the people we serve. Is it beneficial? Things to remember. Each section will have a things to remember, so a little tidbit on what to remember regarding this code of ethics. Be sure the eval is appropriate, current, and relevant. Ensure the intervention is evidence-based and is within the scope of OT practice. So you never want to provide a intervention that is PT or OT. It has to be within our field. And terminate service when it's no longer needed. So don't keep the person on caseload because your caseload is running low or you like the way they smell. If they don't need therapy, let's let them graduate, people. Magnificence. Mal, I believe it's Greek for evil, so something to think about there. And this simply means that you are going to refrain from actions that intentionally cause harm. Things to remember. Don't neglect or abandon a client. I'm going to skip that part because I can never say the middle word. Like, there's words that I can't say. Avoid complicated relationships. Avoid situations that may cause conflict of interest. A prime example would be dating a client. That is going to cause conflict of interest. So it doesn't matter if they're about to be discharged, just say no. Confidentiality. We shall respect the right of the individual to self-determine. So I'm just looking at that and I have no idea what I wrote. I really have to proofread. We want to comply with HIPAA at all times. So you never want to provide the client's personal information to anyone that isn't authorized to receive it. You also want to allow the person to have the right to choose their service. If they don't want to participate in therapy that day, you can't force them to do it. Justice. Provide service in a fair and adequate manner. Comply with institutional rules, local, state, federal, and international laws. Follow the NBCOT Code of Conduct. So things to remember. Respond to referrals in a timely manner based off of the laws, regulations, and/or policies. So if you're in a facility and they have a 2-day policy that you have to eval a referral, you don't want to wait until next week or whenever you feel like doing it. You have to follow the policies that you agreed to work under. Address barriers in accessing OT services by offering or referring clients to financial aid or community resources. So if you know of any resources in the community that may provide therapy pro bono, let them know so that they can get it if they don't have insurance. Refrain from accepting gifts. Maintain awareness of current laws and AOTA policies and for official documents. You also want to advocate for changes to systems and policies that discriminate or unfairly limit or prevent access to OT service. You guys, we're almost done. Veracity. So we shall provide comprehensive, adequate, and objective information when receiving When representing the profession, I'm going to get my brain together. Document honestly. So you never want to say that you've seen a client for 40 minutes, but in reality you've seen them for 30. Avoid plagiarism of others' work. Avoid and represent the credentials, qualification, education, experience, training, and so forth that you possess. So you don't want to say that you know how to complete a treatment if you've never done it before, just because you want to try to do it. So you want to make sure that you are completing treatments based off of your qualifications, because it's safer for you and the people we serve. We are almost at the finish line, you guys. Look at us go. Last but not least, fidelity. So we shall treat colleagues, clients, and other professionals with respect, fairness, discretion, and integrity. So things to remember: preserve, respect, and safeguard private information about employees, colleagues, and students. So once we hit our 1 year as an OTA, we can begin receiving level 1 students. Or is it level 2? I think it's level 2 students after our first year. You never want to disclose information regarding your student to others unless it is your employer. So you don't want to go at a restaurant and complain about the student, because you never know who is around that knows them. So you want to address unethical, illegal, or impaired practice that jeopardizes the safety or well-being of others. Avoid conflict of interest or conflict of commitment to an employment, volunteer roles, or research. Oblige to policies, procedures, and protocols while serving or acting on the behalf of professional organizations. Refrain from actions that reduce the public's trust in occupational therapy. I mean, you guys, half of the public doesn't even know what an occupational therapist is. We can't have them distrusting us. We have to enlighten them on what we do. I legit pet peeve. People go, so is that like physical therapy? And oh my gosh. I was like, yeah, kind of. So we get to answer those questions in a professional way that represents the organization that we are a part of. So I have some quiz questions here for you guys. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to let you take a look at it. I don't have the answers on it, but what I wanted it to do was to just kind of get some things going in your head. I have taken the exam before, so I'm a little familiar with the questions in terms of ethics. So here I've placed a couple questions that are similar to what I've experienced, just to get your brains kind of thinking. Like I always say, happy studying. I love you guys, and thank you so much for going on this journey with me. Together, we will all be occupational therapy assistants.